Heyo! What's going on, everybody? Welcome to turn that shit off. I don't even know why I play Hulk Hogan's sorry ass music. You know why I play it? I play it because on YouTube they don't ban it. If I played something good, it would actually get banned. Doing things a little differently tonight for some people probably wondering what the hell's going on. I got Venomous Vince, Pete the Greek. For those of you that don't know, we have an entourage here in Orlando, a big, large group of wrestling dorks, all kinds of stuff. We're dorks of many things. Some of us, own restaurants. Some of us are engineers. Some of us are directors of marketing. But we all come together at the end of the day, and we love pro wrestling, and we love football, and that's what we're here. We're here to talk about wrestling. It's obviously a big day. I see the people in the chat already excited because... Thank you for the dope intro. Yes, I'm pretty good at those intros. It's a big day. I'm giving away a belt. I know you guys don't even know about this, but it's winner's choice today. So at the end of the show, I'm going to be doing a spin the wheel, make a deal, and the winner will actually win any of these belts that they choose from. So it's a special night tonight. I'm very excited about that. Venomous Vince, haven't talked to you in a minute about pro wrestling. What is your take on the world of WWE, AEW, professional wrestling? How do you feel about pro wrestling right now as October 16th, 2024 comes around?
Not too well. I'm not a fan of what's going on. And then I just heard overnight, I don't know if you heard this, that at the end of 2026 or 27, that WWE is moving from Peacock to all Netflix.
Yeah.
So that I think it's just I just think it's going to be confusing. I mean, I know they're trying to do it because it's going to keep it all one, but you still have, SmackDown on USA, and you still have the CW with NXT. So I mean, it's not all on one just yet, but they're trying.
Pete the Greek, I know you're not an avid wrestling fan. You're not, and that's what I actually like about this is you're here as a normal person that walks the face of the earth and watches wrestling sometimes. But Roman Reigns, and you know what's going on. You know Cody Rhodes is the champ. You got his damn autograph I think we have the same autograph.
The autograph poster, the American Nightmare. Love that one.
So, how do you feel about WWE right now? I know you're in the stocks, TKO, and how do you feel about WWE right now?
Yeah, no, I saw the other day the new setup for NXT. I actually like that a lot more. It looks a lot more professional. They're trying to make a third brand stick out truly, and I think making it more professional. Because before the color schemes, I was not the biggest fan when they did NXT 2.0. They tried to rebrand the black and gold brand. I personally like the black and gold brand the best. That's what brought me back into wrestling. Love that so much. Mm-hmm. But I do think that this new rebrand, the nice neutral colors, everything looks good, looks very clean. And I think the CW having NXT is a little bit confusing for me per se, but I love Trick Williams. I think the energy that he brings every week. I always see the highlights, huge fan. And the only thing I know other than that is Joe Hendry. I have not watched him wrestle yet, but I believe in Joe Hendry.
I believe in Joe Hendry.
Check out the YouTube. We interviewed Joe Hendry 3 weeks ago. That was a great interview. The thing I loved the most about Joe Hendry is that he's like me. He loves to do marketing, and you can absolutely tell that guy is good at marketing because he has marketed himself so well to the point that he's actually made himself something. So it's super impressive to see, and I'm sure he'll be at the Royal Rumble and one day, make it to the WWE NXT, full time where he belongs. We got the crown jewel coming up in a little bit, and we will talk about AEW. I know you're chomping at the bit, Vince, he loves his AEW. But let's talk a little bit about crown jewel right now. There's a big match happening, and it's kind of awkward because crown jewel always seems, it's all about Niko. Let's put Niko there. Yeah. All eyes on me. So it's kind of interesting because Trips at Bad Blood came out and he's like, all right, guys, we're going to have a winner match at Crown Jewel. And the winner of that will get the Crown Jewel Championship, which immediately makes two pretty big matches, which is Cody versus Gunther, champion versus champion, and then Liv versus Nia Jax. So I'm pretty interested to see how these matches go. I feel at the end of the day, though, there's going to be shenanigans in both matches to some extent. People are going to come out, Bloodline or fucking, Gunther's boys, or Tiffy Time's going to come out for Liv versus Nia Jax. But I want to see who you think's going to win these matches when it comes to Cody versus Gunther, Liv versus Nia, Venomous Vince. What's your take on these? Where the hell is Dan? Where's our group that's supposed to be here?
I have
Losers.
No
they do this shit a lot.
They're missing out.
Yeah, Dan usually shows up late. Did we ever find out what how Cody finished?
Losers.
Like, do we feel like that Cody's reign as champion doesn't really mean anything anymore? Like, he won the championship. Now they're putting him with people that just don't really matter.
Cody is forever going to be a sweetheart to me because he gave my cousin tickets to WrestleMania, and that was one of the coolest things I've ever experienced in my entire life in pro wrestling. You don't have to do none of that shit. And by the way, he does this every single night. I saw some kid on Twitter today. He said, I waited 30 minutes, but Cody finally made it to me, signed an autograph, and took a picture after the show. Roman Reigns doesn't do that shit. He signs his autographs and walks to the back. John Cena would maybe take a couple pictures and then leave. Seth Rollins, same deal, take a picture, high five some people. No one's staying and signing 55 autographs, 100 autographs, and taking 100 pictures. Like, Cody's that guy for real. So I think he did finish his story. I think he's in a really interesting place. I do think that WWE has put themselves in a pickle right now because at the end of the day, for Cody to truly kind of become Cody, he needs to hit that heel status like everyone does. Like, it's just a part of WWE. To go to the next level, you got to heal up. And I don't know if he can do that. He seems to be in that John Cena babyface for life kind of position. Pete, who you got? Cody versus Gunther. And what's your take on Cody Rhodes switching it up? Also, in the chat, feel free to ask any questions. We'll answer them in real time, as always.
Yeah, for sure. No, I honestly, and going back to what you're talking about, Cody Rhodes, I will never forget when we went to the dark tapings over at Universal Studios. He is one of the most genuine guys I think that I've met in wrestling. He came over, we talked with him. He offered David a position to referee, and we forgot. So now he knows he has a business card at all times. But he came, he shook our hands, took pictures with all of us, talking with all of us. Super classy guy, very well respected. I think that he still continues to get his flowers. I think he wins at Crown Jewel because the story, he did complete the story. We have seen that. But I think it is very important for him to continue to get, because he's put in a lot into the company. He's put a lot into pro wrestling. He's one of the legends, right? So he deserves to have his time now in the front stage. Roman is still kind of coming back. Obviously, we see him back. But I think this is still Cody's brand to run. And what's going on, y'all? And I think that it's very important for him to win at Crown Jewel. I don't think Gunther is yet to pass the baton, but I think he will be the next to run as the main guy there. So I think he will win maybe at WrestleMania, but I think Crown Jewel might be a bit too soon, in my opinion.
Venomous Vince, counter talk on Cody Rhodes, because you asked the question, but you already had the answer in your mind. Did he finish his story, and is it working? Your answer, I'm imagining, is no, it's not working for you. Is that accurate or not?
I do agree with you guys both. I do think he's very genuine. I do think he is a fan favorite. Do I think he needs to become heel to actually make it all fit in the puzzle? Yes, I do. Do I think he's going to go over with Gunther? Yes, I think Cody. I just hope Cody's going to get a long enough run. I don't know if it's going to be longer than Roman, but I hope it's long enough to where, they can finish his babyface run and then go for, a year or two as a heel.
I could see that definitely taking place. Who is this joining us? Dan. Welcome to the show, Dan. Look at this guy. He ain't got no fucking video. Look at this
man.
Bro. We got 250 people on here. You ain't showing up no screen. Come on. There he is. He showed up just in time because we're right at the 10-minute mark, which means we're going to switch from WWE over to everyone's favorite wrestling show. I'm wearing the shirt. AEW. Dynamite just took place. I left early to set up the show. Jay White was facing. Who was Jay White facing? Christian Cage. Who won that match? What happened? Briefly fill me in. Don't give me the 50 minutes.
Christian Cage I mean, he's kind of the main event scene at this point. He's got the next title shot, so they're not going to do that wrong.
All right, we're talking A-Dub. Dan the Man's here. We got Venomous Vince. We got Pete the Greek. We're switching things up. I'm sure my fans are like, what the fuck is going on here? Because they're used to seeing Cool Mike C and Jedi J every blue moon. He's kind of wandered off into the universe. But I'm excited to have you guys on because you guys are a fresh new universe, fresh new perspectives, and you give them shit to talk about. So let's talk AEW in depth here. They are at the top of the level when it comes, and I gotta obviously, John, I love you. Thank you so much for everything. This has nothing. You guys are at the top of the level right now. You got Will Ospreay, Mercedes Moné, Okada, Takeshita's doing his thing. You know what I mean? Like the Young Bucks are healing it up more than ever. You got Christian. You got Cage just won the ROH TV. Like you got a lot of stuff going on. But every time I see AEW, I see half the arena is empty. They're even doing smaller arenas now and still not kind of filling up the top level. Why are they struggling? I don't understand it. Dan, tell me the answer. Why are they just in a period of time where it's just not moving the needle to and also their numbers are down in ratings on TV. So, it's weird that they were getting higher numbers with like Dark Order and fucking Joey Janela facing, and now you got Will Ospreay and Okada and the numbers are lower. It's like, make it make sense.
Well, I think what we're seeing right now is the honeymoon stage is ended. And with the honeymoon stage ending, you actually have to market. It's not just about, word of mouth at this point. And I don't think they've marketed properly. They've had some issues with, CM Punk, and I think losing Punk has definitely kind of hurt their numbers a bit, as evidently seen. But at this point, they need to rebuild their brand, rebuild their stars, establish who exactly is on top, and kind of gut the roster a little bit, because one week you're on and you see these random dudes that are literally on Ring of Honor, and the next week here we are, and it's the main event on Dynamite. No one knows who the hell it is.
It's interesting for me because you watch both products and you go all empty wrestling. That's just wrong. Why do they do that? Like people love to shit on AEW. It's so, and believe me, I made a living out of it prior to becoming, press. I was talking mad shit. Now I don't necessarily do that as much, but like it moves the needle to kind of be a douchebag to AEW. Vince, I know you and Dan the Man love AEW. Pete, you don't really give as much shit about AEW, but like Vince, you love AEW. You honestly think AEW is better than WWE and as of today. Is that correct or no?
No. I'm not going to say they're the best.
The product. You think when you watch a Dynamite and you watch a Monday Night Raw, you're like, Dynamite? No, you're not. You don't feel that way?
No. I'm going to tell you why. Because I feel like in the last couple months, even like with Grand Slam and some of these like bigger Dynamites they've done, I feel like they've dropped the ball a lot. And I feel like they have big stars and great talent. They just don't know how to use it the right way. I mean, tonight's main event was Jay White versus Christian Cage. I mean,
that should not have been the main event.
What is that? That's like a pre-match before we go to the main event.
Yeah, so that was a little weird for me to see that one when you got so much talent sitting in the back. But
I don't think AEW is. I'm gonna tell you this. Most of the time when I watch wrestling, I watch the old school WCW Attitude Era stuff.
Me too. I've been going back and watching it. You'll see some like Sting versus Lex Luger versus Arn Anderson, and you're like, damn, this shit was like.
I watch highlights. I don't watch full shows because I just don't think any of the product right now is the greatest. I mean, there's good and bad with each company, but it's not worth watching 2 or 3 hours with.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure what AEW's problem is because the product's there. They put on a really good show. They got really good talent. Just people for some reason aren't tuning in. And I get Dave Meltzer's excuses where he says like, "Oh, the Yankees are playing." Yeah, if you're fucking going against the Yankees in the series tonight, you're gonna have trouble like getting good ratings. There is 5.8 million people watching that. A lot of those nerds watching baseball obviously watch wrestling as well. And this is, I think Roman, I think this is a misconception because a lot of people, I'm sorry, Roman and Thomas said that Tony Khan doesn't know how to build storylines. He wants to do dream matches. Now, I've heard recently that he has a lot of people writing. Will Washington, And a couple other people are actually I think I can't remember if Christopher Daniels is on the list, but there's other guys like writing the matches and the storylines, kind of like bookers.
Right.
So I'm not sure that Tony Khan is necessarily fully involved in this dream match conspiracy. Dan the Man, how do you feel about that? Is this a true, or is Thomas smoking that green sticky icky?
I think there's some truth to Tony Khan throwing dream matches probably a little too soon into things. For an example, we just had Ricochet, Will Ospreay. I think it's a little too soon for that. I granted they've had their matches in the past, their feud, but that could have simmered and waited a little bit. Beyond that, there's validity to the statement. I don't think it is as bad as it used to be, though, and I think it used to be a lot worse. I think the storylines are getting better. They are better right now. There's just a lack of consistency, and they need to feature things a little stronger and really build on that. And I think with that over time, just building on storylines on a more consistent basis and sticking to them, whereas you're watching one show on Dynamite and it might be a little different than Collision. I think if they can kind of figure that out and maybe even try a brand split, it might help them.
I don't think we're streaming on Unpopular Review, by the way. I don't know if Chris, executive consultant, I think you foobarred that up. I don't think we're actually on there. You could double check that, but I don't think you guys are
straight.
Can I just make one comment?
Please do.
With all this going on, I'm going to tell you this right now. No matter how hot everybody thinks WWE is right now, it will never be the Monday Night Wars where the NWO every week is doing something that you're going to be like, I have to watch next week, or DX. It's like the Bloodline. You guys, everybody thinks the Bloodline's like so great right now. That's cool and dandy, but it's never going to be Monday Night War. No matter how you look at it, no matter how you do it, it's a different era, and it's not the same.
Elvis.
Love it. Full effort Vince. I don't know if they're talking about you, right? You're full effort Vince.
Full effort Vince.
I love it. Full effort Vince. You're not. It's cool. Christopher Harris.
You spelled "you're" wrong, but that's okay, Chris. Good
with
job.
Apostrophe. You are.
And
Come on, Christopher.
Come on.
All right, Petey the Greek, my fellow Greek brother. You and me got that Greek blood flowing through our veins.
Yes, sir.
You don't go to wrestling very often, but you have shown up at a Mania or two, and we've had some really great times. Who in professional wrestling is going to get you to buy a ticket? AEW, WWE, Will Ospreay, Roman. Who is it that you would actually pay money to go see? And they're like, and it's like that person. And I don't necessarily say they're going to main event the match, or there's going to be a meet and greet involved. You know what I mean? Like who is the person that you would like to do that with?
So I mean, everybody knows my love for LA Knight. So that would be my first answer. But what I would actually like to see, and I've gone to an AEW event in the past. I do think the wrestling is very high quality. I do think the entertainment factor is a bit why I'm not too drawn to it personally. I love WWE because I think they do a great job entertaining as well as wrestling. There's a lot of interactions on the mic, storylines that are built up. I honestly, when I watch AEW, I'm kind of trying to get in if I've watched it, and I just don't really gain any traction. I'm not following who's doing what, so it's kind of hard to get into the show. I would love to watch MJF, though. I think that if I actually had an opportunity to pick a time to go see somebody new, MJF would probably be somebody that I would love to see. I think he's elite on the microphone, one of the best in all of wrestling, and he's very entertaining to watch. But if I had to pick somebody WWE, I'd probably go LA Knight. LA Knight's my favorite. Yeah.
The funny thing about MJF is if you got to meet him, he'd probably flick you off and tell you to go fuck yourself. That's how he is.
I love that. That's totally cool.
Yeah, I'd be like, thank you for that.
That's it.
But you know what's really interesting is I was having a conversation the other day with a very casual, knows WWE, but is not a very frequent watcher. And when I mentioned AEW, they had no idea what AEW even was, and they looked at it as if it wasn't even the real thing. And I think that's how a lot of casual people view AEW, is it's not the real thing. And until AEW markets themselves better, they're going to be stuck in this perpetual spin cycle, and people are going to look at them as an indie promotion.
What percent of people that watch WWE like have no idea what AEW is?
I would probably say we're probably looking at about 30%.
and probably
I think it's a high
50%,
number.
and probably 50% at least don't watch it at all.
Yeah, I'm one of those.
Yeah, but you say that, dude. But they're on one of the biggest networks on television.
Yeah, no, they have their own. They have their own viewership for sure with TBS and TNT. But like the people, and it goes both ways. There's people that watch AEW that don't watch WWE at all. They think it's and I think we're all three of us, all four of us. I guess even Pete's been AEW. You know what it is at least. Are some sort of we're like hybrids. You know, we're almost like a rare breed of people that enjoy both shows. I wouldn't necessarily say enjoy it all the time because we like to talk shit and complain about it. But I mean, at the end of the day, if AEW's in town, we're probably going to go to it like we did when it's at Soundstage 21 or whatever. So, I mean, I love it at the end of the day, but I do think they have some growing to do somehow. I don't know what it is to level up to that next level, but they definitely need to grow and make it all happen. We're going to do the giveaway in about 8 minutes. We're already at 23 minutes. Look how time flies. Are you guys going to go live after this on UPR?
Yeah, right after on UPR.
Go to Unpopular Review on Facebook and check out these two gentlemen over here. Look, I did the wrong arrow. These two gentlemen over here. They're going to be going live and talking shit, like always, I'm sure, about all the products. Thank you for keeping it PG here. I want to keep my relationships healthy with everyone. I think bringing Dylan, if you're listening, I think bringing you on might be a little dangerous to say the least. Honestly, and you guys are absolutely right. I could tell you from a marketing standpoint, because I reach out to AEW all the time and say, I'd love to interview people, let me know. And they only reach out back to me around now because World's End is coming in December. And John or whoever at AEW is finally like, yeah, here's the link or let me know. And like, I might get something. But like all the rest of the year, I'm reaching out going, hey, man, I got, 300,000 followers. I'd love to be interviewing your people. And sometimes I just get ghosted altogether. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. I guess I'm like the guy on Jonah Hill on that show where he's like, I'll just go fuck myself then. Great. That's how I feel sometimes. But all right, let's get to the news here. We got, we're already at 24 minutes. Time flies when you're having fun. Let's hit the news. Let's talk about it. And let's give this belt away to some lucky winner.
Let's do it.
Fightful says Daniel Bryan specifically wanted to lose to Jon Moxley to end his run championship as a full-time wrestler for AEW. Do you guys think, starting with Venomous Vince, do you think this is the right move to drop the belt to Mox? And how much freedom did Daniel Bryanson really have in AEW? It sounded like he got to do whatever the fuck he wanted for his reign. Because he was wrestling a bunch of random people. I mean, Nigel McGuinness, where the hell did that one come from? You know what I mean? Like, Vince, how do you feel about this? How do you feel about Mox being the new face?
I don't know if I really cared for him to lose it in his hometown. I'm very confused on that because guys that have the belts don't usually lose it in their hometown. So I'm confused on that. To lose to Moxley, I'm confused. I really am. I don't understand why Moxley is the guy.
It was a weird ending.
Well, Moxley hasn't been around really for the whole year. Like he was absent. I know Dan over there is looking at me like I'm crazy, but he really hasn't.
Let's hear it, Dan.
If you really look at it, he was gone. He was gone for what, 5-6 months, maybe 7. Like he was not even in the picture.
Well, he was the first big
champion
defection over from WWE to AEW. He kind of, brought a little more eyes to the product and I think legitimized AEW in a better way. I think the issue that we're seeing, though, is Bryan Danielson, Jon Moxley are friends. I knew back at All In that Bryan Danielson was going to win the title, and I kind of circled on the calendar Wrestle Dream is when he was going to lose it, just because it was in his hometown. It made the most sense. That's how you're going to end your full-time run. He's not retiring. He's still going to be doing Grand Slam and all the other crap. And he's going to pop up here and there, but he's done full time. And I think he's earned the right to lose to who he wants to and do whatever he wants with his career. But personally, I would have put over a younger, up and coming AEW talent that would have built them to a higher level. But I understand it's his last match. Well, it's really not his last match. It's his last full time match. But I would have went a different direction.
Man, this look is so much better than that other look. Why didn't I have this shit the whole time? What's wrong with me? Anyways, you learn as you go. Oh well. We just got a restream just started a whole new thing where like on the side you have different scenes and shit. But anyways, I'm not going to bore you. Hit the new news here. Fightful says John Grisham's TNA contract will expire in 2025. Jonathan Grisham, along with Jordan Grace. Where do you think they will both end up in WWE? I'm almost positive we're going to see Jordan Grace in WWE. But do you think we're going to see Jonathan there as well? Dan the Man, what do you think about that one?
As great as Jonathan Gresham is, I just don't know that his style fits with WWE. And I hate to say that because he's a fantastic wrestler, but we know that Jordan Grace has the marketability. We know who she is. She's been built up to be an absolute monster, and she's going to be the first signing in 2025, and we all knew that. And her and Hendry, I think, are probably 1A, 1B at this point on who's coming over.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. Gresham, on the other hand, it could potentially happen, but I think that would be, it's a 50-50 shot.
Venomous Vince, do you see Jordan Grace and Jonathan showing up in WWE?
Jordan Grace, yes. I'm not too familiar with
Jonathan Gresham.
Yeah, I'm not too familiar with him, but
he's got an amazing body, but he's like 5'2". Honestly, I mean, I'm not trying to like make fun of him. I think he's like 5'3". He's very small and compact, but and I think that hurts you in a lot of times. You know, I think it hurt him in AEW because he did show up and did some AEW matches, but he never went over. Pete, have you heard of Jordan Grace or Jonathan Gresham? Have you heard of either one of these people?
I have heard of Jordan Grace, and if I'm not mistaken, she has wrestled in NXT, correct?
Yeah, she did have a match recently.
So I do know her. I've not heard of Jonathan Gresham, but you know, it'd be interesting to see some new talent coming in. It's always nice to get a different look and different brands, see how people fare. I mean, as you were mentioning about Joe Hendry, right? I mean, yeah. I've never heard of him before. So when he came to NXT, his popularity absolutely skyrocketed. I think he was already pretty popular beforehand in the wrestling community. Yeah. But just, you know, a change of brand, a change of scene, sometimes for guys and girls, like it makes their career. So it'd be great to see some new people in, and I'm always here for it.
Shout out to Pete the Greek. This guy doesn't even do it. Look at him. He's like a natural over here. I love it. We need to get you watching the product so we can keep you on the show more. Dan the Man, thank you so much for joining. Venomous Vince. Unpopular Review is going to start momentarily on Facebook. Go check out that show. It's a great show. It's very controversial, so to speak. But the time for talking is over. It's time to give away a WWE belt. Someone's about to win their choice of belts. They can get the red belt, the Ultimate Warrior, whatever belt. The gold belt's actually signed by Hulk Hogan. I don't know if that's good or bad. It could go either way. And then below is the whatever that belt was, the Rock, the Stone Cold, the Big Eagle, right? That one's called.
No.
So good luck, everybody. Let's get this wheel going. Let's spin this son of a bitch. Let's play some sexy boy music for it. What do you think about that? I think I'm in the mood.
That's good.
Yeah.
I think I'm cute. I know I'm sexy. I got the looks that drives girls wild. I got the moves that really move them.
I sent chill. This is such a cheesy ass song, but it works. I just don't know why. I love it. I don't know. And it's not, this is the knockoff one too. I can play this and not get dinged on YouTube. I'm so ghetto. I don't want to give them any more money.
I'm just a sexy boy.
You can tell it's not really HBK. All right, we're slowing down. Who's the winner going to be? Good luck, everybody. Someone's winning a world belt in about 10 seconds. Let's see who it's going to be. This is kind of exciting here. The wheel is slowing down. It's getting slower.
I make them feel like they're on cloud nine. I'm just a sexy boy.
Oh, Ryan Gaiman. I know Ryan Gaming's in here. He just missed by 5 seconds.
I'm just a sexy boy.
Joey Mitchell. Joey Mitchell, congratulations. You just won.
Congratulations.
Hands off the merchandise.
Hands off the merchandise.
That's the line of all lines. All right, everybody. We are out of here. Thank you so much for joining us. Congratulations, Joey Mitchell. You just won the belt. Go watch Unpopular Review. We'll be back next Wednesday. I hope you guys can join me again. I really enjoyed talking pro wrestling with you guys. Let's figure out the cross simulation simulcast bullshit where we're all on each other's streams. We can all promote each other and cross promote and grow together. That's what it's all about. Everyone, love you guys. Talk to you later. Thank you so much for joining the show. One of our largest shows ever, actually. Tons of people in here. But we got to go on to Dirt Sheet Radio. Unpopular Reviews next. Later, y'all.
Later.